He kept his promise and came back. I don't have many memories of my father because he died when I was just 8 years old. However, I do clearly remember the night several years later when he let us know he was still around and still watching over us. First of all, you need to know something about my father. He was fascinated by supernatural and possibility of some sort of existence after death. After it became clear he would lose his battle to lymphatic cancer, he told my mother not to worry. If there's any way for me to reappear after death to let you know that I'm okay, he said to her, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'll visit you and the kids all the time. It's gonna be so cool. My mother said her response to that was pointed and sassy. Don't you fucking dare. It wasn't that she didn't care what happened to him after he died or that she didn't want him watching over her. She just knew she wasn't gonna be emotionally capable of dealing with that situation and she promised him that's how she gonna react. My father followed this promise though. The story my mother told us was that she was in the upstairs bedroom a few months after his death, thinking about him and crying because she missed him so much. Then suddenly had a distinct feeling that somebody was watching her. She turned her head and saw him standing outside the bedroom window on the balcony clear as a day. He looked healthy and alive. He was wearing a brave blue suit. He gave her a look that said, "Is it okay if I come in?" She stared at him for a moment in a total shock. She deliberately blinked her eyes to make certain that she really was seeing him. When she opened her eye, he was still there smiling and waiting. That's when my mother followed through her promise. She closed her eyes tightly and loud. "I can't handle this. I'm sorry, but I need you to go away and never ever do this again." After about 2 seconds, she opened her eyes and this time he was gone. This next part of the story took part several years later. I took a bath for while playing soccer and impact destroyed my leg. I broke into pieces and every ligament and tendon was torn. My leg hurt so bad and I couldn't easily walk up the stairs up to my bedroom, which was across the hall from my parents' bedroom. I was temporarily sleeping in the guest room downstairs while my brother had our bedroom right above the guest room all by himself. In the hall outside the guest room, there was a sideboard with a shelf on the top and drawers below. Another shelf was an old mantel clock. It looked a lot like someone cut off the very top part of typical grandfather clock, and it was small enough to fit neatly on the shelf. The clock had to be worn often with a special key which was kept in the drawers below, and when it was properly worn, the small pendulum would swing back and forth to keep the clock going. My dad loved this clock, and when he was still alive, he made sure to hide it so that it would never stop. After his death, though, we never wore the clock again, and it eventually stopped. So this clock had been completely silent for years. So one night, I was trying to sleep, but the pain in my injured leg was keeping me awake. Plus, as a kid, I had a terrible anxiety. Even with bedroom drawers to help me feel more secure, I wasn't comfortable sleeping in a familiar surrounding of the guest bedroom and being the only person there upstairs. Just as I was finally feeling like I might be able to sleep, I heard something in the hall outside the bedroom door. I was immediately freaked out and wide awake because my mother and my brother were still upstairs. The stairs in this house were very squeaky, and I knew for the fact I had no one walking down them. It sounded as though someone or something was messing around with the sideboard. First, I had a door open, then it shut. After that, I heard a loud creak, followed by a strange sort of grinding sound. Then there was a couple of more creaks, and suddenly the clock that hadn't made a sound in 3 years started ticking. The sound I heard for wasn't grinding, it was waiting. Someone took the key out of the drawer, opened the clock, with it and started bedroom. Apparently, they also put the key back the drawers where it belonged because that's where we found it later. At this point, 11-year-old me was wide awake and scared to hell and hiding as far beneath my cover as I could go with a broken leg. After all, when you are a child, covers are magical and they repel all things evil, right? The next thing I heard was someone walking up the stairs. Then everything was silent for a short while. After a few minutes, I heard footsteps move around all over the room upstairs. I even heard someone direct above open and close, squeaky sliding across a door. After that, footstep came down the stairs, and someone opened and then closed the door to my guest room, where I was struggling to breathe inside my deep dark cover cave. Soon after, the footsteps returned up the stairs, and finally all was silent, except one thing. The clock continued with its relentless tick tack, tick tack. Eventually, sleep caught up with me, and I didn't wake until my mother came to check on me in the morning. When we were eating breakfast that morning, my mother looked at me and paused for a long time. Finally, she said, "Were you up and walking around last night?" I told her I was not, and then I described to her all the noises I heard. She said she heard noises during the night too, and she searched all over the house to see who it was. It was her walking all around upstairs, opening and closing the squeaky closet coming down to the stairs, opening and closing guest room door, and going back to the stairs again. So, who made the other noises that we both heard first, and why was the clock ticking? Suddenly, my mother eyes grew wider. Oh my goodness, she said. Last night was the anniversary of the night that your dad died. I think it must been him trying to let us know he's still watching over us. And with that, we went to look the clock which was still ticking. Thank you, Dad. Message received. We love you too and we miss you.